welcome back to Call the Damn Leads, the show by sales professionals for sales professionals. I'm your host, Drew B. Wilson. With more than 2 decades in sales, I've seen it, been through it, heard about it. Now I'm bringing it to you, my favorite people in the world, the sales community. Because let's be honest, it doesn't matter where you come from, what background, what personality type you have, you can create an amazing life in sales. And today's guest is no stranger to the journey. Someone I'm very excited to have on because she's a content creation machine, my new friend, Miss Crissy Conner. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day to be here. I want to jump right in, though. I want to hear your crazy sales story.
So I have to honestly say that the most memorable sales stories are the ones that you don't expect. For example, if anyone listening, you're on social media, what's the number one thing that you are expecting when you're on social media? You're expecting engagement, you're expecting views, you're expecting people to tell you how amazing you are. But the most, I would say, memorable sales moments are when people are lurkers. I never hear anything from them. I'll never forget this time I had opened up my inner circle, and somebody found me on TikTok. And the only reason I know this is because I eventually talked to her, but she found me on TikTok. She went to my Instagram account and then binged all of the content that I had on Instagram, then applied for my mastermind, paid it. And then we got on a call, just like her first welcome call. She goes, "Let me tell you how I found you." And it was just so funny because she was from another country. I'd never heard her name before, never spoken to her before. But when I see this, it blows my freaking mind every single time, because we always expect instant gratification when we do social media. And sometimes it's delayed gratification. Most of the time it's delayed gratification, but it's even better when it's delayed gratification in my bank account versus a comment or a like.
Ooh, all right, Crissy, we're going to have a lot of fun with this because you may or may not know this, but I wrote a book a couple years ago called Social Media Mastery, because I have built my whole brand and business pretty much using social media. And a lot of it comes right back to what you said, the lurkers. It's the people who are watching your content. They're binging everything. They never like anything. They never comment. They don't share your posts. You have no idea who these people are until one day you get a bing from Stripe and someone has bought your stuff. And you're like, oh, that's cool. But there's so much that goes into being a consistent content creator, knowing that the engagement is what drives more people to see your stuff. And then still showing up day after day when you're getting 1, 3, 5 likes. And so for you, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff we can nerd out, but let's start with the basics of content creation. How can someone who's never created content or ever used social media, really start this journey?
I think we all have a expertise. And if you don't know what that is, what do people come to you for? Number one, go teach people about that on social media. Give value, give mini master classes, because once you're known for something, you're going to be able to expand your brand and expand even what you offer and things like that. But start somewhere, right? Start with what you know, and you can build on that. But teach your audience some massive value, because I believe, this is a podcast about selling. Selling is truly serving. And when we serve our audience, they're going to remember who you are. And that's how you become unforgettable.
You're absolutely right about that, Crissy. It's one of those things that, for me, it's a sales podcast, but ultimately I've learned and boiled it down, and I got this from a mentor because he simplified it. You need empathy and confidence. And the empathy is, can you understand someone? Can you relate to them? Can you genuinely care about them enough for them to win before you win? And then are you 100% confident that the thing that you're going to provide for them is going to help them solve that problem or get the thing that they want? And what I love about, we're in 2025 now, there's social media influencers all across the world. People are working from home, making hundreds of thousands of dollars just using social media and creating content. And the thing that they're doing, and I love that you said this, is what's the thing that you're passionate about? Is it cooking? Is it taking care of babies? Is it painting horses out in the meadow? Whatever your thing is, you have developed a skill set and a passion, and someone will be more than happy to pay you to help them shortcut the process to get to the thing that they want to be able to do. So Crissy, how did you like find this space? What made you decide that you were going to be a content creator and start teaching others to do this?
Well, honestly, at first I started helping other people. So I was a social media strategist back in 2015. And so I was doing it for other people. I had no desire to ever do it for myself. I wanted to be the behind the scenes girl. I'm an introvert. I never wanted to be have the center of attention. And I realized you could only take on so many clients. And I was capping my growth. I was capping my revenue. And so I said, okay, I'm going to launch something. I'm going to launch an offer. And I go to launch this offer and it was dirt cheap and no one bought. And I mean, 10 people bought, but to me, that was no one because I built my business on referrals. Nobody knew who I was. And so rightly so, nobody bought. And I realized then that my fear of getting on video, my fear of putting myself out there, my fear of being the center of attention had to go away if I really wanted to help people as bad as I said I did. And so really my business just took a turn from being a service provider to a coach, mentor, teacher, because when I went to get on video, there was no one teaching you how to get on video unless they were a news anchor or literally came out of the womb with a camera in their face. Nobody was like, I'm an introvert. I get hives. I get so scared and I have all these worries. Nobody was teaching that. And so I literally became the person that I needed to help me. And then I started my business actually helping people get on video. Today that's evolved a lot, but that's really where it started because, you know, they say that your mess is your message. And my big fear of visibility was the thing that changed my business. But my willingness to get uncomfortable and do the thing I refused to do for so long is the thing that changed my life.
Oh, and I too am very introverted. Nobody would believe you these days because I'm on stage, I'm on podcasts, I've got booked, like I'm in the public eye all the time. But I'm very much an introvert. And as I was making my way in sales early on, especially, it was very difficult for me to get out of my comfort zone. And it's kind of funny to me how similar our paths are. And a lot of the entrepreneurs that I work with and speak with that go down this path of content creation, they're like, no, I didn't want to be online. I didn't want to do videos, but like someone challenged me and said, hey, if you'll go do this for X amount of time, I'm pretty dang confident that you're going to get this thing. And if you are willing to try it, I'll do X, Y, and Z in exchange. And you're like, I don't want to do 100 live videos. I don't want to put myself out there and fumble through this thing. And then you're like, well, I also don't want to be broke and go hungry.
That's right.
And so did I read somewhere that you challenged yourself to do some crazy number of videos or something?
You did. Actually, I just did it again in the month of March. So recently in 2025, but I did this first in 2020 because obviously the world was a hard place in 2020 and I wasn't happy with where my business was going. And I was like, you know what? I can't control everything, but I can control me. I can create a KPI for myself. And so I decided to do 100 live videos in July of 2020. And people were like so blown away. And I'm like, this is easy. I mean, don't go back to 2016 me. That was not easy. But 2020 me, that was easy because I was already on video. I was already teaching. I was already doing so many things. So I love a good challenge. You know, like I said a minute ago, like discomfort really changed my life. And so every time I feel like I'm playing small or I feel like it's Groundhog Day in my business, I do something insane like this. And everybody's like, I don't understand you. And I'm like, you don't need to understand me. I just need to understand why I'm doing this and know that I am not willing to play small. I'm not willing to do what everybody else is doing because there's a lot of competition. When you're average, there's not very much competition at all when you're willing to go the extra mile.
I love that. I personally like to do like physical challenges. So I'll go ride my bike 100 miles or like I ran a marathon. I've rode for 50,000 meters. Like that's my thing when I want to get out of my comfort zone and like break free from some weird business issue that I'm dealing with. Cause it's always those like times that get you there. When you put that challenge out there, did you like make a public declaration or did you just decide you were going to do it?
I made a public declaration because I wanted people, if they wanted to do it with me, no one could do it with me. Nobody could keep up, but they tried and that's all that matters. So, but it's interesting because I said I was never going to do that again. But in March, I pretty much did it because I wanted to see who was prioritizing lives out of all the platforms. I was going live across every platform. I was doing about 6 lives a day, 5 days a week. So about 30 lives a week.
Okay.
And I learned a lot. I taught my audience or my clients a lot. And I also I believe in that's almost like a quantum leap. Like I collapse time when I'm willing to go live that many times over and over and over. So I
Mm.
had a client and I said, "Do you want to do it with me?" And she was like, "I'm not doing it as much as you." And then right before we started, she goes, "I'm in." And she did it right along with me. And it just shows the growth of an audience and also my clients. Like she was right there with me along the way and doing it with me. And so it was really just fun to feed off each other's energy and like know that we crushed like, I don't know, like 130 some lives in a month across
Well,
platforms.
and not only did you crush the live videos that you created, but you impacted probably thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, millions of lives. Like we won't know. Maybe one of those videos goes viral. Maybe it did. Maybe 6 months from now, someone finds it and decides this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. How did no one see this? And that's what
Yes.
I love about creating content is that once you've created it, it exists forever so long as you're creating it in a fashion that allows you to repurpose it. And that's where the courses and the trainings and those little things that you can give away of value really start to stack up. That's what I love about this is it becomes, like you said, it's a quantum leap. When you
Mm-hmm.
start, oh my gosh, I got to make 10 videos. Goodness gracious. And it's like, all right, well, I made my 10. And then you decide, I'm going to challenge myself and I'm going to go live every day for 30 days. And then you've got 30 days worth of videos. And all of a sudden, that's your course. Because
Yep.
everything that you would have taught someone over a 30-day period, you've already done once. And now you just repackage it and repeat it. And so, what would you say, like, if you have some strategies for folks that are out there that are thinking, all right, I know I need to create content, like, I know I need to start doing this, what strategies would you give them to create content, not just that's for the sake of creating content, but that actually converts?
So I'm going to say this. We have the best tool ever that we didn't have back in 2020, and that is AI. But
Amen.
I have a warning to put with that. So AI can create the best scripts, the best topics of content for you. The problem is that most people can't back it up, meaning they can
Mm.
read the script, but they literally do not have the conviction or the belief or the knowing that AI is telling them. So this is why it doesn't work for everyone, because you can type on a screen and it can sound so pretty. You can go get on video and everything you say is like perfection. But we got to remember communication is only 7% the words we say. Your energy, the way you show up, your confidence, your conviction, like that is what converts people. That is what
Mm.
moves people. And if you can't move your freaking self, you're not going to move anybody else.
All right, I'm gonna tiptoe into this because I agree with you 100%. I love AI. I think it is one of the greatest tools for true creators because we're able to do the bulk of the heavy lifting
Yep.
and still use it to separate ourselves from everyone else. And this is how I know that what you're saying is real because like I've been creating content for years, and the one thing that I know that has been the most successful at getting attention and creating engagement is every morning when I go to the gym and I pull my phone out and I take this douchey selfie and I tag myself at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 3 a.m., whatever dumb time it is that I'm in the gym. A, because that can't be faked.
Yep.
And B, that is the connection that people see. Hey, this guy's doing the work. He's just like me. No one wants to be in the gym at 4 and 5 in the morning, but those of us that are in there doing the work, there's a respect level. And those are the lurkers. Those are the people that are watching for months and months and months. And then all of a sudden you get a message that's like, hey man, you don't know me, but I've been watching you, get up and go to the gym every day for 6 months. And every time I wake up and I want to sleep in, I look and you're the first face looking at me in my stories and it motivates me. And I just wanted to tell you I've lost 100 pounds or I had one guy at one point says like, man, I was really down. I was thinking about ending it, but your stories and your message just kept me going. And
Mm.
it's so much bigger than the money that you can make from the content. Because
Yeah.
when you're truly genuine and you're putting your story out there and you're putting it out there in a way that lets others know they're not alone, that's how you build the tribe. That's how you build the audience. So like for you, how big do you like how much does authenticity play into your branding and when you're coaching people on branding?
It Plays a lot because here's the thing, a lot of my business is working in close proximity with me. So let's say I show up as someone totally different online.
Mm.
Somebody joins me, they join my program. That's not actually who showed up online. Like, there is going to be a huge disconnect. And the one thing that I can say is I started my inner circle in 2021. The majority of the people are still there. My people do not leave. And that is a testament to authenticity because I am the same person online. I mean, I may get a little crazier sometimes and be a little louder sometimes, but I am the same person online that I am. It's just like if I go put out a post and say, I'm kicking my clients' asses, I'm going to really be kicking their asses. So it's really just, it's being that authentic person. What I'm saying, I'm walking the walk basically. So I think that is so important because so many people, I hear them using AI now for the Ferrari and the jet photos. And I'm like, people are eventually going to see right through that. When they join your programs and you're not flying across the world in your own jet, it's going to be a big red flag for them and they're going to feel like they were duped. And what's the worst thing we can do is have trust with somebody online. And as soon as they come into our container, mistrust comes up. You've pretty much lost them forever.
I love that. And as someone who has been a part of an organization that did actually fly around on private jets and do all these crazy things, like even then I remember posting them and being like, even though we're actually doing this, it still feels weird because
Yeah.
it's like very few people are ever going to achieve this level of lifestyle. And it wasn't just from me. Like I was always very clear, like, hey, I'm a part of an organization that's done amazing things and we help so many people that we're blessed with this opportunity.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't make sense. People that make real money like that, they're not just flying around on private jets just to fly around on private jets, guys.
Right.
They're not just popping down for the heck of it. And this is where I think it's very important for any content creator to remember that people are buying into you. They don't care about all the flashy logos and all that kind of stuff. That is all surface level. At the end of the day, they want to talk to you. They want to know you. They want to like you. They want to trust you. And this is like sales 101
Mm-hmm.
because whether you're an influencer, a content creator, a business owner, people need to know who they're doing business with. And what I would be curious, because you've mentioned it a couple times, introversion. What, like, for people who are introverted, how can they get out there and start creating this content but not feel like inauthentic or, like it's draining everything in them because you have to do it every day. You can't
Yeah.
just make one post and do this. So like, how can an introvert step into that authentic style of content creation?
Yeah, I think the first thing that I did was I created very safe content. But if you're not on video, if you're not putting yourself out there, then it's probably a great way to start. Having safe content. I call it my so-so content era because it was very so-so, which means it didn't activate people. And so I think a lot of times introverts, especially, are afraid of getting haters, afraid of getting canceled and things like that. So if that's where you need to start. But also, again, going back to that passion. So I didn't tell you this at the beginning, but my first live video, do you know what I was doing? It was nothing to do with my business. I
Were you
was
brushing
teaching
your
my
hair?
audience how to make Jello shots because it is the only thing that I knew my friends wouldn't make fun of me for. And I knew that they all came to me. When we were going on a girls' night out, they were like, Crissy, you got the Jello shots? I got you. I'll bring 200. And so I literally showed my audience and I was like, and by the way, this is for my friends because you guys always want me to bring all the Jello shots and now you have no excuse not to know how to do it. And so I made it fun. I was a nervous wreck, had so many hives. I'm yelling in the screen. It's so imperfect, but I chose to do something that I didn't need a script for. I knew how to do. I didn't need the recipe. I knew it. And I felt like it was just that comfort level. So it was very so-so content, but it was also for my friends. And I knew that, again, they wouldn't make fun of me. I think another big fear I had was talking about social media and talking about growth. I was so worried that people were going to be like, I know more than her. And I was like, that's not who you're talking to. I'm not talking to those people. But at the time, it was a big fear. So the Jello shots, I knew I was an expert at Jello shots. Sorry, I'm hands down. To this day, people send me Jello shot recipes that I should try. I made a name for myself making Jello shots, even though that's not my brand. But the thing is
Nice.
that when you are that confident, and I was that confident about my Jello shots, it made it way easier. And so again, tapping into that confidence, tapping into that passion, even if it's so content and you're not ready to rock the boat yet, show up in that way. And that's tiptoeing into it. The other thing I would say is we have so many tools today. You know, when 2016, when I was starting to get on video, there was live video or YouTube. There was no stories. There was no, I mean, Musically might have been around before they were bought by TikTok, but I don't even think it was then. But so you have stories now that disappear in 24 hours. You can literally talk or do a voiceover on a TikTok. Like, so there are so many opportunities today that there wasn't back then. And so I say choose the mode that works best for you, and then always be pushing yourself to grow and evolve in your content creation. Because once you get comfortable doing something, the next step is to get uncomfortable, because the only way it's going to continue to work is to continue to elevate yourself, push yourself, stretch yourself in your content.
You are 100% correct. I knew this was going to be an awesome conversation. And I'm going to, one of the things that I always try to share, because I was very nervous to get on video. I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, what I teach my clients now, and feel free to steal this and share it with whoever, if you guys are listening, use this yourself. If you log into Facebook every day, it will tell you whose birthday it is. And so one of the things that I did early on, and I still do this is for a sales thing and also from like a training standpoint, is I'll pull out my phone and I'll look at the videos and I'll just go, hey, Crissy, I saw it was your birthday. Just wanted to reach out and tell you happy birthday. Want you to know how grateful I am for your support, for always being there on my content. And just a reminder that if you ever need anything, I'm always here. Reach out anytime. But more importantly, crush your day, call the damn leads, and have some dang fun because it's your birthday. Boom. And I do that 10, 15 times a day, however many birthdays there are. And I can't tell you, Crissy, how many people I've been able to do business with, but more importantly, like those teary-eyed messages, like, I have family that didn't even say happy birthday and you're a stranger on the internet. And like the things that you can do and the connections that you can create through content, whether it's a video or just being very genuine and sharing the recipes, the things that matter to you, that is how you build a raving fan audience. And if you're trying to build a brand, you're trying to grow your business, having raving fans that will tell other people about you is the greatest thing on earth. And it all starts with you creating content that they can be excited about.
Yes.
So Crissy, I know we could nerd out on this literally all day. Like I've got a book, you've got books. We could probably create 17 different programs together in the next 24 hours with AI.
Yeah,
but I want to come and learn more about your content. I want to check out your book. I know the listener's been getting a lot out of this. What's the easiest way for us to find you?
TheVisibleCEO.com. That's
Easy
the
peasy.
easiest place. Yeah, you can find me everywhere there.
Awesome. Well, I will definitely make sure that gets into the show notes. I'm excited to order your book and check it out. Before we get out of here, I want to ask one last question. Because what I love about sales especially is there's always new people joining in. And content creation too, right? Someone might be logging in and decide today is the day that I'm going to start doing this. If you can give that person one piece of advice on how to go and be successful with everything they've learned today, what would you give them?
I would say be obsessed with what you do, because obsession totally breeds conviction. Your conviction is going to be magnetic, whether you're on video or you're typing or however you're creating your content. And if you're ever worried about not selling or something like that, tap back into that conviction, because your sell and your future selves are going to live in that energy.
I absolutely love that advice. You guys go check out thevisibleceo.com. I'm going to order her book. Make sure you grab it. Start creating content if you're not. If you enjoyed this episode, you got something of value out of it, share it on social media. There's a piece of content for you. Make sure you tag us so that we can see it. I know Crissy's going to be just like me. She's going to see that tag. She's going to follow up. She's going to say thank you. She's going to make sure that you got all the things you need to continue being successful. Maybe send it to somebody who's terrible at content creation, that you're like, hey, I love you so much that I'm going to share this with you so that you can get better, because I want you to grow and learn. And if you have your own story, maybe you got excited and started creating content. Maybe you've been able to create a life for yourself in sales this way. I want to bring you on the show. Head over to callthedamnleads.com/podcast. Send us your information. We'll get you on here. Just like Crissy, who was so amazing to take the time out of her day to share your content. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You guys know what to do next. Go call the damn leads. We'll see you on the next one.